The sun had barely risen over the lush hills of Umuakwe when Kasi-Chukwu followed his father into the farmland. The 17-year-old had caramel skin that gleamed under the early morning light. Broad-shouldered and tall, he moved like a gazelle, graceful yet powerful. Known in the village for his unmatched hunting skills, Kasi-Chukwu had brought down a wild boar with nothing but a short spear and his wit. But today, there was no hunting. Today was about farming, planting yams, weeding cassava beds, and maintaining the land that had been in the Chukwudi family for generations. His father, Mr. Chukwudi, a lean, hard-working man in his 50s, swung his hoe with practiced ease until a strange sight stopped him. Dark liquid bubbled up from beneath the earth, forming an odd pool. "Kasi," his father called. Kasi dropped his machete and jogged over. "Papa, what is it?" "Look. What do you make of this?" Kasi crouched. "It smells strange. Like palm oil, but burnt. I've never seen anything like it." Mr. Chukwudi looked around, then whispered, "Let's not tell anyone just yet. Not until I speak with Mazi Okafor." That evening, the air in Mazi Okafor's compound was thick with the smell of roasting plantain and betrayal. Mr. Chukwudi sat with his childhood friend under the mango tree. "Mazi," Chukwudi began, voice low, "I saw something strange on my land today. A black liquid, like oil." Okafor's eyes narrowed for a heartbeat too long before he let out a forced laugh. "Ah, my brother, that is not oil. Oh. That is a bad omen. You should sell that land and be free." Chukwudi raised a brow. "You really think so? That land is all I have for my son. Then sell it and buy better land. In fact, I know someone who will pay you good money." That night, Chukwudi couldn't sleep. The way Mazi Okafor had insisted, the strange glint in his eye, something wasn't right. He called Kasi and handed him a weathered brown envelope. "Keep this safe. It contains the documents to the land. Tell no one." Kasi nodded solemnly, his youthful face serious. "I won't, Papa. I promise." Okafor couldn't sleep. He paced his room like a trapped tiger. Every plan to buy the land had failed. Then came the darkness in his heart, an evil plan. He would wipe out the Chukwudi family. No family, no claim to the land. The night he chose for the attack, Kasi had traveled to the neighboring village of Ijuoma with a bottle of the black liquid. He met a retired geologist who confirmed what he feared. "Young man," the old man said, sniffing the bottle, "this is crude oil. A fortune sleeps beneath your land." Kosi's heart pounded. He rushed home the next day, hope burning in his chest, only to find ashes. Smoke still curled into the sky where his home once stood. Bodies. His mother. His father. His little brother. Burnt. Gone. He fell to his knees. A howl tore from his throat, a sound that could wake the dead. As Kasi tried to sweep what remained of his family home, his friend Abuka burst in. "Kasi. White men. They are in your father's land. Mazi Okafor and Ikem are showing them around, marking boundaries. I heard them say it's because of what's inside the land." Kasi grabbed his machete. Abuka pulled him back. "Think, Kasi. They'll kill you too." And everything made sense. The lies. The insistence. The massacre. "They think I'm dead," Kasi muttered. "They are in for the biggest shock of their lives." He stormed to the palace and demanded to see the village chief. But the chief only smirked. 40%, he said. "What?" "Of whatever they pay for the land. Then we'll support your claim." "Claim? For crying out loud, that is my father's land. I am not giving you a dime as I have no intention of selling it." Kosi's eyes burned with rage. "You will rot in your own greed, my chief." The next weeks were hell. Obiora, another childhood friend, was killed by men who mistook him for Kasi. Kasi ran. He took the documents, hid in the forest and crossed into town. With no way to go and no one to turn to, Kasi slept on the street. In the morning he found a place where a house is being constructed. He went there and worked to get a day's pay. At night, he found a spot where he could get food to eat. While eating, Kasi could not help but shed a tear as he remembered how his family was slaughtered and burnt to death. It was at this point, one of the regular customers noticed him and asked him what the problem was. Reluctantly, Kasi began explaining everything to this stranger who said his name was Spider. "For where be this?" "For this town." "Ca. I know where you can go and your matter will be settled very fast." "Really?" Kasi asked with wide eyes. "Where please?" "Don't worry, finish your food, then I'll introduce you to some guys." That evening, Kasi was taken to some group of boys. Deep down, Kasi knew they were not good people, but his thirst for revenge clouded his sense of reasoning. While preparing to attack and kill all those involved in the untimely death of his family, fate brought Kasi to Terry, a lanky boy with a large camera and a larger mouth. "You're Kasi-Chukwu, right? My dad needs to hear this. Listen to me, although what you went through was bad, it will be wrong to take matters into your hands, and even if you succeed in wiping out all your enemies, you will always be on the run from the authorities. Come, let me take you to my father. He will help you in the right way." Terry's father was Chief Yude, a retired lawyer turned human rights activist. After hours of interviews, Kosi's story went viral on social media. #Justice for Kosi trended. Radio stations picked it up. TV crews stormed Umuakwe. Under pressure, the state government launched an investigation. A team of investigators descended on the land. Oil was confirmed. Mazi Okafor, Ikem, and the village chief were arrested. Emails leaked, phone calls recovered, all pointing to their guilt. A secret land sale contract, forged signatures, and bribes traced. Kasi reclaimed his land. And the document his father gave him? It had a clause. "To my son, Kasi-Chukwu. Should anything happen to me, let this paper speak on my behalf." Years later, Kasi-Chukwu stood in front of a brand new oil company bearing his name. He had scholarships in his name. He had built schools. And on the gravestone of his family, he placed a flower each year. You did not die in vain. Thank you for watching. If you're just seeing my channel for the first time, please do well to subscribe, turn on the bell icon so that you'd get notified when I drop another mind-blowing video. Also, do not forget to like and share to your family and friends. Lastly, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be replying each and every one. See you in my next video.